So we're up here and I'm going to show you how to fly microphones. We have those new fly mics I showed you, and we want to try to get them up above the stage, but it can be a little difficult to run the XLR. We're up here on the motor rack. Right below us is the catwalk. Backstage, when you come up the stairs, there's a ladder right here. It takes you up to this motor rack. If we look over the motor rack, over this catwalk, we see the side of the stage, stage right. The two main things we care about up here is where the baton is and the stage manager drop way down there on the right. Now, microphones come out male. So we want to throw the female end where the baton is, and we want to put the male end over here by the drop. Now, we used to do this a different way, but over the years it's grown and it's become way more efficient. The way we do it now is we'll take this black piece of paracord. They are tied to this pole fairly tightly. We have a whole bucket of this, so if you need to fly more than two, I think only two, maybe three are flown right now, but if you need more paracord, there's plenty of it, and a 50-foot XLR. So we'll just take the XLR, and we'll roll it out, and we'll fold it in half, almost exactly. It needs to be very close to half as you can get, and then we'll tie this paracord in a knot, a non-slipping knot right down the middle. We're going to pause here so I can get that done, and then I'll show you how to fly it then. Okay, so we're back. I just tied the knot right in the middle, and this cable is still tied to here, so now this cable is being held on by here. I'm about to throw the male end down to the stage manager's desk so we can plug it in. I've also tied the female in gently. You never want to tie a solid knot with an XLR because you will break the inside, but just a nice gentle knot here in case, God forbid, something happened that we don't lose this cable and it goes and breaks something. Nice and controlled. So, if you look around, this brings me to just a slight tangential point, but very important. There's no light up here. We are above the fluorescence. Highly, highly suggest everyone get a small little torch. This is the little pocket flashlight I carry. This one's fairly nice. It zooms, so you can see it across the auditorium. But Walmart sells this same type of flashlight with rubber around it for $1. I made everyone in my crew have it. I made sure everyone in my crew carried a flashlight with them to rehearsal, and if they didn't, there were repercussions. Like, they got in trouble for not having a flashlight. Because with sound, you're looking at inside of dark drops, you're looking at the front of microphones you can barely see. You have to have a flashlight for the amount of work we do, especially when you're working up here in the dark. So highly suggest you get one. I know Harbor Freight gives out coupons in the mail for a free little tech light like that. Great thing to have. But that aside, we're about to throw this cable. The biggest thing in theater is doing things safely and not running into cables. Is doing things safely, making sure other people know what you're doing and not getting injured. Because it's fun, but keep in mind, theater deaths are rampant every year because people do stupid things and don't tell other people about it. It's people bringing in pipes and not calling it and things like that. So there are set ways to communicate that something is happening. The first thing we'll do is we'll have a spotter. Anytime I go to fly these cables, I always have someone down right around the middle of the soft goods down there, like just behind the mid and just back a little bit, whose job is crowd control, to make sure nobody walks through here. Then you'll give the first safety call, which is clear location, such as clear stage right. You'll yell it. This is to tell people, this is a command to leave, to get out of stage right. Then whoever's working as a spotter will say, stage right clear, or something similar, letting you know stage right is clear and you're good to do whatever you need to do. The next call is something you not say lightly. This is the most important word said in theater, and it should be the loudest word you ever say, and it's heads. Heads location. You don't joke and yell heads. It's like yelling fire. It's not something you do. Heads means there is something actively falling. It means get out of the way, you're about to be hit in the head. It's not a request, it's not a question. It's you saying there's something falling. It's a notification. And it should be as loud as you can possibly muster. And there's no response to it. It's just get out the way. So now we're about to throw this right here. You see there's a cable running right here from the ceiling down to the little runner for the side tabs. We're going to throw it on the right side of it. That way this cable will be arced over this cord right here. Well, let me say that clearly. That way the XLR will go around this aircraft cable right here. That way the male end's on the right and the female end is wherever we need it to be on the left side. That way it's the paracord going down that's holding this cable, and we're not using the extra cable to go back up here. So now, I'm gonna throw the metal in. I usually have to do it multiple times because I'm not the best at throwing this cable, but here we go. Clear, stage right.
Stage right, clear.
Heads, stage right. I got it the first time and we got it on film. Hey, you guys saw that. It went the first time right where I want it to go. So, next we're going to go and we're going to throw the female in wherever we want it. Now, the trick is to be on this side of this pole when you throw it. That way the XLR doesn't get caught around this pole, because we want the XLR to be caught down there. Now this one is a bit more difficult, so you want to make sure it's nice and tight off right in the middle. Notice before I said a non-slipping knot, you may notice the knot I tied is slipping a bit. But we're going to go and we're going to throw it, let's say we want it on the first empty batten, that's 3 right over there. We're going to go right on this side, so we're just going to throw it right towards 3. And we're going to do the safety calls again, because every time we throw something, we want to do a safety call. So we'll do clear, stage right.
Stage right, clear.
Heads, stage right. And now we have it right where we want it, so we'll let the paracord fall down. And the cable is where we want it now, and we'll run it out and plug it in on one side and run the extra XLR up and onto the batten. And we'll go down there and I'll show that in just a second. But that's it from up here, and this can be repeated as many times as you need it to be. I will say, if you're trying to fly a mic very upstage, it is more difficult. Like if we wanted to fly, say, on the 3rd electric, we could just throw it from there on this side of this cable. But if we wanted to fly, like we did for the last musical I did, Beauty and the Beast, on this empty batten way up here, just in front of the site, on the last electric, we would have to employ the lift to try to get there. But I'll meet you down on the deck to discuss how we fly it on the batten itself. We have the 2 ends of the cables down here. We can simply pull the male in until we get the slack down. I will say I did not leave enough, so I would usually get a small patch cable, a small 15 if I had it, or go and pull the cable until I got it to refly. That way we can plug it in down here and whatever we want. And we'll take this into the cable. We'll lower the batten. Let's say we want it on this 3rd batten right here. And we'll just take another cable, plug it in here, and then loom this cable down the batten until we got it where we want and where we can plug in the fly mic and we're good. Nice and simple. That's the hardest part though, is getting that flown where you want it.
And just to be clear, explain to everyone why you use that paracord up there to fly these XLRs.
Sure. So there were several iterations of how we used to fly mics. The first one was one I came up with, which was stupid. We used to take it and go from the deck up to the catwalk, over the catwalk, and then back down into the drop below the call board. That would use about 200 feet of XLR per run. And then Alan, my A2, came along and said, wait, why don't we just go up and then back around the catwalk and then back down to the stage manager's desk? And that worked. And then we decided, wait, what if we just tied paracord and lowered the XLR down? That way we went from using 100 feet a run to using 50 feet a run. So we went from 200 feet up and over to 100 feet up to the catwalk and down, and now we just go up to that batten and down. And to give future ideas, we recently installed this pipe right here for these side lights, and it wouldn't work for flying on the later battens, but for flying on the 1st electric, the 2nd electric, and maybe the 1st empty batten, you could just go up and around that top of that pipe. Might be worth looking into. Never stop innovating. Thank you.